Alright, Alters by Cronus can bring you a deck I'm testing out for X points. Now this does have a lot of proxies in it, only because my real ones are in my main Dune deck at the moment. I have a tournament coming up on Saturday, and I'm not sure if I want to build myself a different deck, or, excuse me, use the Dune, so I did not take all the real cards out of there and replace them in this deck. There's not a deck photo for that reason, but I'm not 100% on what I'm going to do with this deck. This is based off of a deck that I was playing in the early 90s. I like the combination of red and green with splash of white. I think it's very aggressive. This one's more of a zoo. My original was not a zoo. I play preachers in this deck. I usually main deck 3 of them in here as a test. I would not have those. I would basically play in Urnums and a single ball lightning, and I would have a little bit different mana source. I did have a single berserk in here back in the day too. I do not have it in here. This is more of a zoo with preachers. So let's see how it goes. We did all shuffling. I won the roll here. We have a awesome Nightmare Matt on the right. I do not have a deck picture from him. He is possibly going to play this in a tournament. So he did not want to share the deck photo for obvious reasons, because like I said, a lot of the guys I play are preparing decks for tournaments. That's why I don't have deck photos in there. I know some of you guys give me thumbs down. You're not happy about that, but I don't want to ruin someone's chance in a tournament, especially if it's an X points one, when you're throwing it online and everybody's seeing your deck before you even play it. Gives you a huge disadvantage. But I will put my deck photo up here as soon as I swap out all the cards, so there's no proxies. I started with a Taiga Curd Ape. He's starting with a Desert to a Mana Vault. Now, this is one of the reasons I wanted to test my deck. I wanted to see what Deserts did to the deck that I play. Here's a Savannah. So I'm deciding how to tap things here. Here's another Curd Ape. I know he has no mana open, so it didn't really matter which way I played it. Oh, looks like I forgot to hit the lock button on the camera. Sorry about that, guys. I believe I do figure that out eventually. There's a Savannah Lion afterward, just in case something crazy happened. And a pass turn. I do main deck 4 Curd Apes and 4 Savannah Lions. If you haven't figured it out, I do love that combination. I think they are a lot of problems for people. There's a Suchi. So I pulled another Mox here. Here's an all-out swing, which usually indicates the player has something in their hand. I don't know if he wants to take all 6 damage right now or not. He can kill the lion, but he's still going to take 6 damage. This is a mono blue deck on the right side. You'll figure out which kind it is here shortly. Yep. There's the giant growth. And I'm going to play a pixie after. So I'm going to take him all the way down to 12 life. He cannot desert the lion. But in this version of my deck, I do play 3 giant growths. Main deck. 3 plows. 4 bolts, 4 chains. Obviously a Chaos Orb and some other cards, but we're going to copy the Suchi there. Now he's already at 11. But if I have a way to destroy that Tsuchi, he's going to take a lot of damage. There's an all-out swing. He knows I have giant growths. He knows I'm playing red, so I'm sure he knows I have damage. I do have white, so he has no idea what I have in my hand. Oh, there's a bolt on the Tsuchi. Looks like he blocked both on both my Kurt Apes. He cannot use the mana, so that's going to hit him hard. Bring him down to 3. There's another Pixie. He will not be able to block the Pixies. There's a damage from the vault. He's at 2. I don't believe he's going to be able to get an answer out. Yep, there's a Sage. So you can see what kind of deck he has here. He has a Sage-based deck, which I think is a really cool idea. He's trying to figure out the balance of cards for himself, and I am having a very difficult trying to balance the mana base out for this guy. I don't know why. I can balance it out for the Dune. I can't balance it out for here. So let's go on to game number 2. All right, we're on to game number 2 here. Let's see what Mr. Nightmare Matt's going to do. There's a beautiful island and pass. What do I have? I think I had a pretty... I didn't actually like this hand. I kept it, but I did not like it at all. I had a feeling I was going to get screwed. I just don't know why, but this deck is just drawing very odd lands all the time. I almost wonder if it's because I put points into factories. I use my points for 3 Moxen, a regrowth, and 3 factories. So I'm having a problem drawing, but for some reason I keep drawing the same lands when I do draw. So if I start with one, there's a lot of the games I play where I keep drawing the same exact land. So you can see me having an issue here. I believe I had a bunch of white knights in my hand, which I put in for the first strike reason, because a bolt and a giant growth could kill a Juzam because of the first strike feature. But I'm having issues getting mana. I don't know why, so I might be forced to take out the white knights. There's a Tsuchi. Alright, now I have double white. I believe I had white knights. I can't remember exactly, but this is what I meant by drawing exactly the same mana sources over and over again. Alright, there's a Preacher. That's good for me. There's a swing. Let's see if I'm going to take it or if I'm going to block. Looks like I'm checking my hand here. Probably thinking I end up taking it. Yeah. I didn't want to lose 4 life like that, but there's a factory. Activate and copy. I probably would have copied the Suchi because you had the factory out. There's a stone. Because if I block with my Suchi and you have a copy of the Suchi, I end up losing 4 life and you don't. Because I do not have a factory out. So I probably would have copied the Suchi. I believe at this point I was just double checking the wording on Preacher. I wanted to make sure I understood it properly. I do have 3 of them, but I don't really play them that often. There's a card I like, I just haven't played, so. Alright, there goes Preacher. There's only 1 card to select. So here comes the Suchi. I'm going to put in a proxy because I don't know how many Suchis around, so I'm going to fast forward this part for you. Alright, I'm just going to use a sleeve for the moment. My little guy was next to me, so I did not want to leave him be without watching him. I got to watch him at all times, so this just, again, just me reading it to make sure I got the wording correctly. I was trying to figure out if it comes over tapped or not, but it would come over in whatever state the creature was. So because the Suchi is tapped, I get the creature tapped. I'm guessing I'm playing a knight. Yep, there's a white knight. Another reason I wanted to play them is for the protection from black. I definitely do not have enough white to make the pump knights good. So, plus I don't like the 1 defense. I have enough 1 defense, or 1 toughness, I should say, that I don't want any more 1 toughness creatures. But it definitely seems like I'm having a problem with double white. It's 4 plateaus, 4 savannas. You have the cities of brass. I have plenty of white sources. I believe I have 11 white sources. I just having a major problem drawing white. This is only game like number 8 in this deck I played around with, but no matter what, I've been having problems getting white. It's not a lot going on here at the moment. Alright, we're back. Yep, we're going to copy. He's going to copy the Suchi. I have 6 cards and a lot of problems for him. I'm still having mana problems. But I do have another white knight, so now I have protection from black. Basically, I can double block the Suchi and kill it instantaneously, so he definitely has a problem. He's not going to want to attack with the factories. He's not going to want to attack with his Suchi. I'm worried about him getting the Sage out. There's a big Brain Geyser. there's a maze. Shuts down my plans temporarily. Pass. I believe I had a lot of burn in my hand. There's another white knight. Now my hand's been burned, but I keep drawing white knights. But I'm okay with that. Like I said, all I need is a giant growth or a bolt, and that knight becomes very deadly. The problem I have is I'm looking at mono blue, so I'm afraid of bolts, or counter spells for my bolts, or my giant growth, so my creature ends up dying. Looks like I'm going to throw out another lion there. I'm trying to ramp up so I can attack and blow away a lot of his stuff and attack through it. But I'm actually not doing it because I'm waiting for giant growth, even though I have a bolt and 2 chains, I believe. I'm waiting for a giant growth because if he counters my bolt, I can still do a giant growth and kill the Suchi. I'm also waiting for one of my factories, which I have not drawn. There's a pass. Let's see, am I going to draw another one of the savannas? Yeah, I think this is a mistake if I attack. At one point here, I believe I attacked, and I completely forgot what my plan was. There's a Curd Ape. And the pass. There we go, there's a red source. I think I end up jumping the gun here, but I definitely should be waiting for a giant growth. Yep, I jumped the gun here. Definitely should not have done this. I did not have my giant growth in hand like I wanted to. I know I have a bolt, which is why I did it, but I wanted a backup plan initially. It's going to activate. On activation, I'm going to bolt. Change his mind there. He's going to use a counter spell. Because we're playtesting, we're letting things go. Because we don't want to win or lose off of an accidental mistake or a misplay. We want to try and find out how our decks do to their best ability at the moment and what the weaknesses are. Now I forgot about the maze as well. So this is going to end up pretty bad for me. Now, I thought he blocked the lion. I'm going to tap the other source. Yep, that's where he was like, no, I blocked the ape, not the lion, but the lion should be gone because of the desert. So that's what I mean. That was a huge mistake. I wanted to get rid of both the factories, but it did not work that way. So I got rid of Asuchi and left the 2 factories. There's an icy manipulator. And a juggernaut. That's a problem. Now I do play 4 disenchants in here main deck, but I am not finding them. There's a chain to the juggernaut. Definitely don't want to be taking his damage. Now I can't really do anything about it because we got an icy. Looks like I'm gonna go to combat phase, but before combat phase, he's going to tap. So technically, I didn't do anything because I never hit my phase. So he's going to decide to tap down a creature before combat. So at this point, it's not even worth attacking through. If I had a giant growth, that would be awesome, but I do not. So there's the pass. Looks like we're tapping down a knight. It's going to activate both. Swinging. I should have blocked, but I did not, so I'm just going to take it. But he is tapped except for the maze at this point. Yep, there's another Savannah. At this point I thought, oh, let's attack, but then I decided against it because of the Maze of Ith would untap my Suchi. My lion would die to the desert. And my knight would only do 2 damage, and I would take 4 damage. But if I keep all my creatures untapped, I could stop him from attacking. Or at least negate some damage. There's the tap on the Suchi. Now it should block 1 on each, but I don't know why I did this. There's another desert. I mean, I know I had a migraine during this game, but a lot of errors on my end, at least in my mind. Looks like I'm going to swing all out here. There's a chain to the face. Oh, I know why I double blocked. I wanted him to use the maze. That way I could attack through. I'm trying to burn him out at this point. Because he's at 5 life. I feel like he's not going to attack with both creatures. Well, there's an attack. There's a plow. It is 7-6. This is a very close game. Now, I don't want him tapping my City of Brass on his end step. So that's why I'm attacking. I don't want to take basically give him a free ping every single turn on me. So he's going to do that. And there's a factory. Going to strip the plateau. That's not good. Just a pass. There's a swing all out. Tapping a Suchi. Gonna maze one of the lions. Gonna take the 2 and kill my lion with the desert. So he's at 5. Looks like we're just drawing pass. Let's see what he does here. All right. We decided to activate the factory there. I was holding a bolt, so I am going to bolt that factory out. Because I want to attack through. So we're going to tap the... Or am I not attacking? What am I doing here? Yep, okay, so he's going to tap down the factory. He's going to untap the lion. That'll save me from taking the City of Brass damage. There's a sage. We're just going to adjust the way we're tapping everything here. Gonna pass. There's another play set. That's what I mean by drawing. I don't know why this deck has such weird issues with lands, but I have 12 dual lands in here and I've only drawn the same 4. It's just bizarre to me. There's another attack. There's a icy and a tap. Again, that's basically 5 damage, so I believe that's 5 damage by now. I would have been at 1 life and dead. So I have to keep attacking. I believe I have a giant growth in hand if I remember correctly. There's a sack to draw. There's a chaos orb. He's targeting Preacher. And it's a hit. Now at this point, I'm dead. He has an ice manipulator, so he can tap down my creature and attack for lethal. Yep, there's the end step tap the Curdate. Tap the lion. Doesn't need to draw for card, but he's going to tap the lion and attack for lethal with the Suchi. I didn't think I had a way out of here. My only way out was drawing a disenchant or something. If I drew a disenchant, I could have disenchanted the Suchi. Because he did not have the factory, he would have took 4 damage and could not have done anything to me. And I could have attacked through. Alright, so we're going to go on to game number 3. Alright, we're on game number 3. Again, these are not sideboarded. These are test games. So we are not sideboarding because we wanted to make sure that our main decks are functioning the way we want them. Mine is definitely not. I'm having problems with it. But there is a Curdape Taiga. Mine is not consistent enough for me to feel comfortable. And I believe it's because of the White Knights, as much as I don't want to get rid of them. There we go. We're back. There's a Factory and Pass. There's a strip on the Factory. I'll try and put him back a little bit. Looks like I don't have any more Curdapes. Well, there's a strip on my red source. So now my Curdape is a 1/1. A swing for 1. Alright, there's an Island and Pass. No mana source for me. Swing for 1. That's not good. There's double blue now. He has Counter Magic open technically. I could have a mana source. Nope. Attack. And a pass. And a land and pass. Pretty slow game here. Swing again. I might have to discard this turn. Sonic Blast on a Curdape. Looks like we're both having problems here. Yep, discarding a White Knight. There's a Juggernaut. There's a white source. Do I have a Disenchant? Alright, looks like I do have a Disenchant. So there goes the Juggernaut. There's a Mana Vault. And a pass. There's a Plateau. Looks like I'm getting in business here. Looks like I'm going to change around what I'm doing here. Yep. Play a Savannah Lions. No Counter Magic. Oh, decided he is going to use Counter Magic. Yep, there's a Counter Spell. I'm going to play out a Chaos Orb to get around the Counter Magic now that he's tapped out of it. I tell you what, one thing I learned is definitely a difference flipping a proxy Chaos Orb from a real one. He's going to copy my Chaos Orb. There's a ruby. There's a white knight. And a counterspell. Three cards left in hand and a pass. He's going to activate his Chaos Orb. I'm going to activate mine. I'm so used to having my real Chaos Orb that I grabbed this little proxy one and it made a crazy bounce. So I was like, nope. But he wanted it to count because he wants to play test properly. So he's going to count it anyway. So I'm going to do a couple flips in a row here to be like, okay, why am I bouncing? I don't quite understand. But hey, that happens sometimes. So we're just going to count them. So Chaos Orb kills Chaos Orb. And I'm passing with 3. Play a Sage. See if I have an answer for Mr. Sage. Well, there's a Taiga. About time I got a green source. I'm going to play a Pixie. And I'm sure I have some kind of way. Yep, there's a chain. There goes Mr. Sage. Unless he has a power sink in hand, Sage is dead. I'm going to swing in for 2. Oh, looks like we have an activation of the vault. What do we have for the vault? Oops, Sonic Blast. That's going to hurt him, but definitely can't be taking 4 damage a turn. So I do understand it. Oh boy, another Sage. Definitely needs that because it needs to get rid of his vault. I'm guessing vault. Yep, vault. So one thing I'd be worried about that low in life. I have mana vaults, but I'm thinking of playing mana vaults in a black and green type where I use the priests to sack the mana vaults. So this way I can play a couple different ways in that deck. If I do an aggro version with black knights and hippies and sangers and stuff like that, maybe Suchis, I could easily sack my mana vault. So I can tap it for 3, sack it for a black, and basically turn 2, that would give me a Sanger Vampire. And if I main deck my 4 giant growths, that is a massive problem for somebody. Looks like we're going to make another choice here. We're going to tap another vault for a Chaos Orb. And we're going to flip it on the Pixie. Perfect shot. believe I had another Pixie in hand. There's a Bolt. I definitely don't want him drawing cards. Because he has to waste his mana to untap a Vault now. So basically it's like a free turn for me. There's a swing for 2. Another Lion. And a pass. He's going to untap the other Vault. So there's basically 2 free turns, which is not going to go well for him, but he can't be taking the damage, he'll die. So there's a swing for 4. It's going to go down to 2. I do not have anything to finish him off, but let's see what he is able to do. Nope, he drew another land. I think that's it. There's a top deck Bolt, and I had a Plow in my hand. Okay, let's go on to some bonus games. All right, we're on the bonus game here. I had the mulligan, but we're going to skip ahead. So there's a quick drop to a Soul Ring. If you know what that land is called, put it in the comments. I'll give you a little hint. It messes with banding. It removes banding from creatures. But here's a normal Taiga Curd Ape opening. Now the main difference between the Dune and this deck that I notice of mine is I have a problem because I don't play factories. So that gives me access to more green and black and other colors. So I actually am completely mana fixed pretty much with the Dune at all times. And in this deck, even though it's only 3 colors, I'm having problems. But there's a factory. So I'm going to swing in for 2. Play a Pixie. Are we going to see Counterspell? Yep. Definitely need a Counterspell. Cannot let me go here. There's a Brain Geyser. Now, I did mention this was based off a deck I played as a kid, but I did not play Preachers and I did not play White Knights. Basically, I put 5 mana dorks in and did not play the Moxen at all. I played 4 birds and 3 elves, if I'm not mistaken. I played a Penelhaven. I believe I only played 3 pixies, and I played 3 Urnums, a Ball Lightning, and I think I played 1 Bloodlust or 2 Bloodlusts and a Berserk, I believe is what the original was. But there's another Pixie and a Mox and a pass. He's gonna have to come up with something here quickly because next turn he's taking 6. Because all the different things I have in my deck, the disenchants, the plows, the bolts, the chains, I have a lot of different ability to burn and kill things and protect things. Alright, looks like we're going to tap everything for Triskelion. Is not going to be able to stop the Pixie. be honest with you, I'm really not too worried about the trike at all. Looks like I'm deciding if I'm attacking with both or not. Yep, I'm going to attack with both. That's going to signal I have something in hand for the trike. There's the block. I believe I had a bolt. I'd rather have a giant growth, but I believe I have a bolt. I only main deck 3 giant growths in this one. Oh, I have a plow? Yep. So I'm assuming he's going to take all 3 counters and kill my ape. He's going to end up plowing, so he gains 1 life. I'm going to play another pixie. Well, he should have been at 15. He should have gained a life for that plow. Alright, we have a factory out. That's something, but it's not going to be able to do anything against my pixies. Stone? Nope, Chaos Orb. Flip on a pixie. No matter what the flip, we're going to make sure it counts automatically, but we're going to flip. I'm not 100% sure if it was for practice for him, but just got the corner. He had a wicked kind of bounce like I did the first time, but his hung on. So now he tapped his factory, so I can attack with my factory now. I believe he's keeping multiple counter magic open. I believe that's what I would assume. He must have 2 counter spells in hand. We'll find out though. I'm going to swing for 4. We have a Sonic Blast. Yep, Sonic Blast. He's going to blast the pixie. He's still going to take the 4 damage. Am I going to play another ape, or what am I playing here? Or am I going to chain him? I think I'm calculating odds here, but I'm pretty good odds I'm going to burn him out. So let's bring him down to 7. Beautiful islands, my friend. Oh, there's a ship. Those are great cards, especially when you have 3 mana to regenerate. Now I only main deck 3 plows in here. I do have 4 disenchants. Don't really see them that often these games, but here's another thing I was telling you earlier about me drawing the same dual lands over and over again. During one of shuffles, we were actually laughing. There's a quick mana drain on the chain, though. But we were laughing because when I had to mulligan, I'm like, I had a whole hand of the same 2 cards, I believe it was. And we laughed, but I ended up shuffling, and I saw 3 Curd Apes together, and I basically flipped through my deck with him. And there was 4 or 5 different cards where I had 3 of a kind. And multiple more where it was 2 of a kind. And we just kind of laughed, and I shuffled another like 26 times. Looks like we're going to attack 2 in the air. I'm going to take it. What do we got here? White Knight. There's another factory. He's going to start worrying. If I keep getting out creatures, I can attack through his stuff. Another Fellware Stone. He's got 2 cards in hand, a couple counter spells in the bin, so the percentage of counter is getting pretty low. There's another White Knight. He definitely has a problem now. He absolutely cannot attack anymore. Now, I do not have a hand, because in this version I do not have card draw. So I might actually take out the White Knights, take out the Moxen, go back to my original, but I'm not sure yet. Original I had 4 birds, 3 dorks, but I also played a Soul Ring and Urnums, and I would allow me to have more points for other things. I would not need as much white, so I can back off some of the sources. I won't have preachers and I won't have knights, so I have no double white. So I tried the double block to kill the Juggernaut, but that did not work out. We had a Sonic Blast, which did take him down to 5. I should have just took the damage, thinking about it in the end, but 5 damage is a hard pill to swallow. Looks like I'm in tank here. I'm not going to have anything yet. Alright, we're back. You had to take a phone call, I believe, so I'm going to quick bolt the Sage. I do not want him drawing cards. He's going to have to attack with the Juggernaut. I'm going to activate and double block. I don't know why I untapped. It should be tapped. There's a Curd Ape. This is why I didn't want the Sage. I could have got rid of the Juggernaut, but I did not want the card draw. There's a lot of stones and the Mana Vault. You could have easily pumped and drew multiple cards right now, and I would have been behind dead. Even though I was at 20, I can't get that far behind. So there's another Curd Ape. This is not looking good for him. At this point, I can attack through, take him down 2 life, take him to direct damage range. Looks like he's going to activate and copy. That's going to keep him alive. Chain lightning him to the face. My guess was he didn't have counter magic, so there's too many in the bin without the extra card draw. I don't think he's going to have any. So I'm going to take him down to 2. All right, there's the pass. I'm counting up my deck here. My chances of direct damage are getting pretty low. There's another Juggernaut. I definitely cannot attack through yet. What did I draw? Oh, Regrowth. Regrowth Lightning Bolt. Again, because he does not have the Sage, he did not have the extra card draw. So that should be the finisher right there. Oh, and there's a counter spell. And I had nothing but a Mox coming up, which is one of the reasons I didn't play them in the past. We'll see what I do next, but I think I'm going to change this deck back to what I had more as a kid than what I'm doing now. But if you have any comments, let me know. Again, I do not have a deck picture because it's all proxied right now, and I have no idea if I like the deck or not. But I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'm going to keep trying to learn X Points so I can play with you wonderful gentlemen. There's an awesome community in the X Points area, and I want to get more involved with you guys. So I hope you guys all have a wonderful night.